Imagine selling your $600,000 house to avoid state income taxes, buying a $450,000 place in Florida, pocketing $150,000 in home equity, and ending up worse off financially 5 years later. How's that even possible? Well, we're going to talk about it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 7 advantages of relocating in retirement that everybody talks about. Then I'm also going to show you the 7 disadvantages that can completely erase those gains if you don't plan carefully. One of them is currently affecting over 33% of older adults and has a health impact equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Before we dive into the specifics, though, you need to understand why retirement relocation has become such a critical decision point and why getting it wrong can cost you 6 figures over the next decade. According to AARP research, 71% of older adults who are considering moving cite the cost of their rent or mortgage as the primary driver. 60% specifically want to lower their housing and maintenance costs, and about 55% are being crushed by property taxes. So the pressure to move is real, but here's what makes this decision more dangerous than it's ever been. With Medicare Advantage now covering more than half of all Medicare beneficiaries in 2025, moving to a different county or state doesn't just change your zip code. It can completely reshape your healthcare access, your provider network, and even which plans are available to you. Add in skyrocketing homeowners insurance that we've been seeing over the last couple of years, wildly different property tax rates, and the fact that only 2.1% of Americans actually moved to a different state in 2024, you start to realize that this isn't a simple cost of living calculation. This is a multi-variable financial decision that some people can get catastrophically wrong. So let's start with what you might gain because the advantages are real. They're just not the whole story. Now, advantage number 1 is state income tax savings. Moving from a high tax state to a low tax state can create meaningful savings on Social Security, pension income, and your IRA distributions. But this is crucial, right? You cannot look at state income tax in isolation. You need to price in the entire tax stack, that I like to call it. Income tax might go down, but property tax, sales tax, homeowners insurance, and maybe even HOA fees might all go up. So the state with zero income tax isn't always a state with the lowest total tax burden, and that's what really matters to you. Now, advantage number 2 is unlocking home equity. This one's just simple math, right? If you're sitting on $400,000 of home equity in an expensive housing market, and you can buy a comparable home for, say, $250,000 in a lower cost area, that's potentially $150,000 that you can move into your investment portfolio or use to strengthen your cash flow. So Harvard's Joint Center for Housing Studies reported that 11.2 million older adults were cost burdened in 2021, paying more than 30% of their income on housing alone. So downsizing could significantly help improve that. Now, advantage number 3 is lower ongoing housing costs. Even if you're downsizing the dollar value of your home, you might be moving to a place with lower property taxes, meaning cheaper utilities and less expensive maintenance. So your monthly housing cost isn't just your mortgage, it's your property tax, plus insurance, plus potential HOA fees, plus just the ongoing maintenance. So all of those can shift dramatically depending on where you're living. Now, advantage number 4 is better aging in place design. This isn't just about the house itself, but it can also be about the neighborhood, right? Over half of older adults told Harvard researchers their neighborhood lacked good public transit. So if you're moving, you have the opportunity to relocate and choose proximity to better healthcare that you're going to need, walkability, maybe single level living, and daily conveniences that just make aging easier for you. Now, advantage number 5 is lifestyle upgrades, right? Climate, amenities, and walkability aren't trivial. A nationwide commission survey found that 1/3 of adults with at least $10,000 in investable assets who expected to retire within the year would consider moving to a lower cost of living state or country. People move for sunshine, they move for culture, and they move because they're tired of maybe shoveling snow, which we get a lot here in Pittsburgh. Advantage number 6 is proximity of family. AARP consistently finds that this is probably one of the top drivers of retirement relocation. Moving closer to adult children or grandchildren isn't just emotional, it can also reduce travel costs and create a natural support network for you and for your family. And finally, advantage number 7 is simplification, right? Fewer stairs, smaller yard, less maintenance, no more coordinating 5 different contractors or anything like that. It all ties back directly to the fact that 60% of older adults want to reduce housing and maintenance burden. Sometimes this isn't a win financially, but it might just be getting your weekends back and having less stress knowing that Problems around the house are going to be taken care of by other people, not necessarily yourself. Now, here's where this video is going to get interesting, right? Because every one of those advantages comes with a potentially mirror image cost that almost no one prices correctly. Disadvantage number one is healthcare disruption. Remember that Medicare Advantage stat that we talked about earlier? More than half of Medicare beneficiaries are now on Medicare Advantage plans, and those plans are hyper-local. Your provider network, your prior authorization rules, and your plan options all can change when you move to a different county, let alone state or maybe even country. And if you're in Medigap plan, premiums vary substantially by the state. You may save $5,000 a year in state income taxes, then you can discover your new healthcare plan costs $4,000 more annually with fewer in-network specialists for you. Now, disadvantage number two is the tax savings mirage. The Lincoln Institute analyzed the largest city in each state and found that the average effective property tax rate was 1.22% in 2024. But rates varied wildly. Some areas are more than double or even triple that. Consumer Federation of America reports that from 2021 to 2024, the average homeowner's insurance premium jumped by about $648, a 24% increase, and now averages around $3,300 per year. In some coastal and wildfire-prone areas, insurance alone can cost $6,000 to $10,000 annually. So that no income tax state might cost you $8,000 more in property tax and maintenance and insurance. So suddenly that tax one evaporates. Now, disadvantage number three is transaction and moving costs, right? Zillow estimates seller closing costs at about 8 to 10% of your home sale price when you include commissions and fees. On a $500,000 home, that's about $40,000 to $50,000 before you've even hired a moving truck. Moving.com cites typical costs around $1,250 for a local move and about $4,890 for a long distance move covering about 1,000 miles. Add in repairs, staging, new window treatments maybe, furniture that might not fit, and unexpected fixes that are going to come with a new place, and you're easily looking at $60,000 to $80,000 in total transition costs. That's real money that needs to be recovered before you're ahead if it's a tax or income play that you're moving for. Disadvantage number four is social capital lost and loneliness. Here's one that kind of surprised me the most when I was doing research for this video. A 2024 national poll found that 33% of older adults reported feeling lonely sometime throughout the year or often in the past year. The U.S. Surgeon General issued an advisory stating that social disconnection has a mortality impact similar to smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. So when you move, you're not just leaving a house, you might be leaving your book club, your poker group, your volunteer network, your neighbors who check in on you. Rebuilding can take years, and some people never do to the extent that they did when they were younger. Now, disadvantage number five is travel costs. They become a budget line item for you. The Bureau of Transportation Statistics reports that the average domestic airfare in Q1 of 2025 was around $397. So if you move near the beach, but your grandkids are 1,200 miles away, you want to see them maybe once or twice a month, or you're looking at roughly $800 per month in airfare alone before lodging, rental cars, and meals if you can't stay with your kids. That could be up to $10,000 per year every single year. So moving away from family to save money can actually backfire spectacularly. Now, disadvantage number six is residency and administrative complexities. Only 2.1% of Americans moved to a different state in 2024, according to census data. It's not common, and there's kind of a reason for that. Establishing legal domicile requires updating your driver's license, voter's registration, primary care doctor, your wills, estate documents, and all your financial accounts. Some states will actually audit to make sure that you're really gone. So if you own property in multiple states and you split your time, you can end up in a residency dispute that can cost tens of thousands of dollars in legal and accounting fees. It's not very common, but it certainly wouldn't be fun if that were to happen to you as well. Now, disadvantage number seven is HOA and condo fee shock. Census data from 2024 shows that about 21.6 million homeowners paid HOA or condo fees, and about 3 million of those households paid more than $500 per month. So that's $6,000 a year or more on top of your mortgage, property tax, and insurance. And so many retirees moving into planned communities or condos don't budget for this. And those fees tend to increase 3 to 5% annually. So you're thinking over a 20 to 25-year retirement, that could be a six-figure cumulative cost as well. So where does this leave you? Should you relocate in retirement or not? Here's my framework. Relocation works well when the financial advantage is overwhelming. You have a plan to rebuild social connections and you've stress tested the different healthcare prices and costs and potential access. If you can genuinely save 15 to maybe 20,000 per year after accounting for the full tax stack that we talked about, moving costs, travel expenses, and you're moving towards family or an established community and not away from it, then it can absolutely make sense for you. But if you're chasing a $5,000 state income tax savings, ignoring potentially a $4,000 insurance increase, and leaving behind 30 years of friendship, to me, that math just doesn't work. And the emotional costs will probably be higher than you anticipate. The most dangerous retirement relocation is the one driven by a single variable, such as state income tax. So you got to run the numbers on all 7 advantages, but also all 7 disadvantages. Now you know exactly what to weigh before you relocate in retirement. But here's the problem. If you move to a no-income state and then pull money from your IRA the wrong way, you could just give up thousands of dollars in tax savings for nothing. So I'm going to show you how smart IRA millionaires withdraw 6 figures in retirement while paying $0 in federal income tax. It's a completely different strategy than most people use. So watch this video right here if you don't want to accidentally destroy your tax savings the year that you relocate.